ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንዴት ናችሁ? ሸቱ ነኝ የ11ኛ ክፍል የሂሳብ መምህር ከሉሲ ብሪጅ አካዳሚ። ዛሬ የምንማረው ከባለፈው ክፍለ ጊዜ የሚቀጥል ፓወር ፋንክሽን 5 ኮንዲሽኖችን አይተናል። ቀሪዎቹን 5 ኮንዲሽኖች ዛሬ እንመለከታለን። ከዛ በፊት ግን ልክ እንደሁል ጊዜው የዌብሳይታችን lucybridgeacademy.com እየገባችሁ አጫጭር ኖቶችን ታገኛላችሁ፣ የጥያቄ ባንኮችን ታገኛላችሁ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከ5 ቋንቋዎች በላይ መረዳት የሚችል ፐርሰናላይዝድ ኤአይ አሲስታንስ ፕላትፎርም አለ። አሁኑኑ ሰብስክራይብ እያደረጋችሁ ጆይን አድርጉ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ በስፋት ለሌሎች ተማሪዎች እንድንዳረስ የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችን ሰብስክራይብ አድርጉ፣ የቴሌግራም ቻናላችንን ተቀላቀሉ። ታንክ ዩ። So let me go to power function, okay? As we have seen on the previous period, we categorize functions, those functions having common characteristics እና ጠቅላላ ሁሉንም ፓወር ፋንክሽኖች በ10 ግሩፕ ካቴጎራይዝ አድርገናቸዋል። 5ቱን ግሩፖች አይተናል። ቀሪዎቹን 5ቱን ግሩፖች ደግሞ ዛሬ እንመለከታለን። Okay, condition 6, f of x which is equal to 1 over x to the power of m over n, okay? F of x which is equal to this means 1 over x is the power of m over n. Or this means x is the power of minus m over n, alright? But m is odd and n is even, okay? And m odd now, n even now, which means this can be written as the form of x to the power of minus 3 over 2. Look, for example, x to the power of 3 is odd and n is even. Again, we can have also x to the power of minus 1 over 2. m is odd and n is even. እነዚህ ካራክተሪስቲኮች ይኖሩናል። ለምሳሌ x to the power of minus over 2 ብቻ ብንወስድ x to the power of minus 1 over 2 is equal to 1 over x to the power of 1 over 2 ማለት ነው, which is equal to 1 over the square root of x ይሆናል ማለት. In this case x greater than 0 መሆን አለበት. ኦኬ ዶሜናችን x greater than 0 ምክንያቱም በስኩዌር ሩት ውስጥ ኔጌቲቭ ቁጥር አይኖረንም, አይገባም. in the set of real number negative number is not defined, okay, in the square root. Therefore the domain is positive and the range 1 over every positive number is positive. So we do have the same domain and range. Positive value, that means greater than 0, domain greater than 0, range, okay? And this graph has no symmetric line. This graph has no symmetric line and the graphs contain common point 1 1, okay? Only 1 1 is here common point. Good. Let me see. Not symmetric, okay? Not symmetric, and let me draw the common graph x, and here we have y. This is the graph. It looks like this one. This is f, okay? So as x tends to, this means as x tends to 0 from the right, means as x tends to 0 from the right. 0 በቀኝ በኩል ስንጠጋ ማለት ነው. As we approach 0 from the right, the corresponding value of the graph tends to positive infinity. Look, this can be written as x tends to 0 from the right, f of x. This implies that f of x tends to positive infinity, okay? Again, as x tends to 0 from the right, f of x tends to positive infinity, and as x tends to positive infinity, this one is as x tends to positive infinity, the corresponding value of the graph tends to x-axis. That means it tends to what? It tends to 0, okay? That means as x tends to positive infinity, the corresponding value of the graph f tends to what? Tends to 0 from the right, or 0 approaches from 0 tends to from the right. Okay, and the domain, as we have seen before, the domain is positive real number and the range is positive real number. Both they have the same domain and range. Condition 7, x is the power of m over n. This means x is the power of m over n, where m is even and n is odd. Even over odd, that means x is the power of 2 is even, 3 is odd. X is the power of 4 is even and 3 is odd. It continues like this. So all these have common characteristics. They have common characteristics, and the graph looks like both this one and symmetric with respect to the y-axis or y-axis symmetric line. And let me write x is the power of 4/3 or 2/3. It can be written just like this one, the cube root of x, or simply this means x is the power of 1/3 the power of 2 using exponential rules, which means the cube root of what? The cube root of x, the whole square, right? Now, in this case, for every value of x squared is greater than or equal to 0. Anyways, the domain is x can be an element of every real number, okay? X is an element of every real number. What about the corresponding value of the function f? Yes, f is always greater than or equal to 0. And y is greater than or equal to 0. So the domain is a set of all real number, but the range is positive real number including 0, or non-negative real number is the range. The domain is the set of all real number and the range is non-negative real number, and the graph looks like this one. -1 is common point, 1 is common point, 0 0, okay? -1 1 0 0 and 1 1. These points are elements of all function have the form x is the power of m over n, where m is even and n is odd, okay? Even function, yes, even function, because let me take for example, x is the power of 2/3, f of x is f of minus x, which is equal to x is the power of minus x is the power of 2/3, yes, which is equal to this means the square root of x, the square root of that, okay, x the power of 2/3, yes, x is the power of 2/3, x is the power of 2/3, yeah, the cube root of, this means the cube root of minus x squared. This means the cube root of what? Minus x squared is x squared, which means this is what? f of x. So f of minus x is equal to f of x, therefore it is even, okay? It is an even function. It is even function, symmetric about the y-axis, because the graph looks like this one is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is our graph. Okay, the graph looks like this one, and the point -1 -1 1, and this is 0 0, and this is 1 1. So symmetric with respect to the y-axis የጥፋት ላይናችን ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ወይም ግራፉን ልክ እንደዚህ እኩል ስናጥፈው y-axis ጥፋቱ ላይ የሚሆነው y-axis ነው። so therefore y-axis is symmetric axis እንላለን ማለት ነው። and the graph passes through the point 0 0 1 1 -1 1. Domain as we have seen before, the set of all real number, and the range is non-negative real number. Okay, condition 8, f of x, which is equal to 1 over x is the power of 1 over x is the power of m over n, where n is even and n is odd. This means or this can be written as a form of x is the power of minus m over n, okay, and m is even, n is odd. This means for example x is the power of minus m even ሆኖ 2 ሆኖ n ደግሞ odd ሲሆን 3. ሌላስ x is the power of minus 4 over 3 and so on. የመሳሰሉት the same characteristics አላቸው, or they do have common property. So in this case symmetric, or since it is x is a power of, look, x is a power of minus 2 over 3 means, this means 1 over x is a power of 2 over 3. This means 1 over the cube root of x square, all right? X squared. Now here x for every values of x, this is defined except 0. Therefore, our domain is x greater than 0. The domain is x greater than 0. And range. The range is, since x squared is always positive, the domain is a set of all real number. The domain is domain is a set of all real number without what? Without 0, except 0. The domain is the set of all real number except 0, because if x is 0, 1 over 0 is undefined. That means 0 does not include it in the domain. But x can be negative number, x can be positive number, x can be any real number except 0. But the range 1 over x squared, since x squared is always greater than or equal to 0, this number is always positive, okay? So, and it cannot be 0, therefore range of f is equal to from open interval from 0 to positive infinity. Never be negative in the 0 እና negative አይሆንም። so ከ0 የሚበልጥ ቁጥር ይሆናል። As you see the graph, the symmetric line is y-axis is a symmetric line and it is even function. It contains the point -1, -1 and 1, 1. Look. Yes. Oh, symmetric line is symmetric, okay? Symmetric, not symmetric. It is symmetric with respect to symmetric. Symmetric with respect to y-axis. It is symmetric with respect to y-axis. And again, look the graph x, y. The graph looks like this one. -1, 1. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. The graph looks like this one. It looks like this one. That means as x approaches to positive infinity, the graph approaches, f of x approaches what? It approaches to 0. And again here, as x approaches 0 from the right, the graph tends to positive infinity, okay? As x approaches to 0 from the right, the graph f of x approaches to what? It approaches to positive infinity. Again here, as x approaches to negative infinity, the graph approaches to 0, and as x approaches to 0 from the left, the graph approaches positive infinity. And the domain is a set of all real number without 0, but the range is positive real number. It is positive real number. Okay, the next condition is condition 9, f of x which is equal to x to the power of m over n, where n is odd, both are odd, m and n are odd. That means x is the power of 1 over 3, x is the power of 3 over 5, yes, and so on. It continues like this. All these have the same characteristics, and the graph looks like this one, okay? Let me take one of them. For example, x is the power of 1 over 3 means the cube root of x, okay? The cube root of x. So the domain is every real number, okay? X can be an element of every real number. That means domain in the range. The range is also y such that y is an element of every real number, domain and range. And symmetric with respect to the origin, okay? Symmetric line, symmetric is with respect to the origin. And again, it is an odd function, okay? Odd function, yes, symmetric with respect to the origin or about the origin, and the graph, since the graph x, y, okay, the graph looks like this one. Looks like so. It contains the point 1, 1. Here is 0, 0, and minus 1, 1. Okay. These 3 points are in the graph, or all the function contains these 3 points. The domain is the set of all real number, and the range is also the set of all real number, as we have discussed before. You can take a vertical line test and horizontal line test. That means if you take the vertical line, the domain is a set of all real number. If you take a horizontal line, the horizontal line touches a point at only a point, okay? That means the range is a set of all real number. The last one is x the power of 1 over x is the power of what? X is the power of m over n, where m and n are odd both. So yes, this one is 1 over 3. Yes, okay. Yeah, this means x the power of minus m over n. That means x is the power of minus 1 over 3, x is the power of minus 3 over 5, and so on. For example, let me say take f of x is equal to x the power of minus 1 over 3. This is f. Therefore, now this means 1 over x the power of 1 over 3, which means 1 over x cubed, okay? Or the cubed root of what? The cubed root of x. In this case, the domain is a set of all real number without what? Without 0, okay? This is our domain, but the range is for every values of x. For every values of x, this function is defined except 0, because it is the index is odd, which is 3, yes. And then range. The range is the set of every real number except 0. Okay. Range is also the set of all real number without 0. It is symmetric with respect to the origin, and the point minus 1, and 1, 1 is the common point for every function. Okay, it is an odd function. It is an odd function, symmetric about the origin. It passes through the point minus 1, 1, and 1, 1. The domain is a set of all real number without 0. The range is a set of all real number without 0. Okay, look, since the graph looks like this one and this one, okay, this means x approaches to what? X approaches to infinity. Then f approaches to what? 0. Here x approaches to 0. X approaches to 0. And the value of y approaches to infinity. F approaches to infinity. Okay, that means, look here, this means as x approaches to infinity, f approaches to what? F approaches to 0. This one as x approaches to 0 from the right, especially f approaches to what? F approaches to infinity. Okay, infinity. Again here as x approaches to negative infinity, as x approaches to negative infinity, f approaches to what? 0. As x approaches to infinity, f approaches to 0 from the left. Again here, this one, x approaches to 0, and f approaches to, or y or f approaches to negative infinity. That means as x approaches to 0 from the right, f approaches to negative infinity. F approaches to negative infinity. Good. This is all. We will see the next part, some examples of power function. This is all for today. So power function, ብዙ አይነት ፓወር ፋንክሽኖች አሉ። ወደ 10 ካታጎራይዝ አድርገናቸዋል። 10ን ካታጎራይዝ ካደረግናቸው በኋላ እያንዳንዱ ካታጎሪ ወይም 10ም ካታጎሪ ግራፋቸው ምን ይመስላል? ተመሳሳይ ግራፍ አላቸው። እሱን ማወቅ ያስፈልገናል። ኮመን ሲሜትሪ አላቸው። አክሲስ ኦፍ ሲሜትሪያቸው ምን አይነት ነው? ኦኬ አጌን ፖይንትስ ኮመን ፖይንት 3 ኮመን ፖይንቶች ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ። 2 ኮመን ፖይንቶች ወይም 1 ኮመን ፖይንት ብቻ ሊኖር ይችላል። እነኚህን በደንብ አይደንቲፋይ ማድረግ ያስፈልጋል። again domain and range is very important. so ከዚህ በኋላ ፈተናችሁ ላይ የምትጠይቁት ጥያቄ ምንድነው የሚሆነው? which one of the following is the properties of x is the power of m over n, okay, where m is odd and n is even, or simply x is the power of 1 over 3, x is the power of minus 3 over 5, x is the power of minus 3 over 2 and so on. እንደዚህ አይነት ጥያቄ ስትጠየቁ የትኛው ካራክተሪስቲክስ ውስጥ ይገባል? ሲሜትሪው ምን አይነት ነው? ፖይንቶቹ የሚይዛቸው ፖይንቶቹ እና ማን ነው? again domain and range, is it even or odd function የሚለውን በደንብ መለየት ይኖርባቸዋል። እንዳትረሱ ዌብሳይታችን lucybridgeacademy.com በመግባት የተለያዩ ጥያቄዎችን ታገኛላችሁ። እንዲሁም አጫጭር ኖቶችን ታገኛላችሁ። ተጠቀሙበት። ከ5 በላይ ቋንቋዎችን በላይ መረዳት የሚችል personalized AI assistance platform ታገኛላችሁ። እሱንም ተጠቀሙበት። ስለዚህ ሰብስክራይብ ያደርጋችሁ ጆይን አድርጉ። የተለያዩ ጥያቄዎችና ኮሜንት ካሏችሁ ደግሞ በቴሌግራም ቻናላችን ጥያቄያችሁንና ኮሜንታችሁን እንፈልገዋለን። አብሬያችሁ የቆየሁት ሼቱ ነበርኩ። በሚቀጥለው ቪዲዮ እስከምንገናኝ ሰላም ሁኑ።